So the plan has been for Bryan Kohberger's quadruple murder trial in Idaho to start in 82 days, about 82 days from now, August 11th. In case you want to circle the date on your calendar, my plan is to go to Idaho. The families have been planning for it. Everybody's been getting ready for that day. But all of a sudden, the defense says that that is a problem. Team Kohberger now wants the trial delayed because of that Dateline NBC episode filled with all the details that had not officially been released. The judge himself has said that there were leaks. He's threatened to name a special prosecutor to find out who violated a gag order. That's a big deal. I was in court last week when he said it, and I was like, wait, what did he say? That is very unusual. He wants to go after the leaker with a special prosecutor right before the trial and do this whole investigation possibly. How will putting off the trial undo the damage that may or may not have been done from leaking evidence? Is the defense looking for any excuse not to face a jury? The answer to that is probably yes, because they've been trying everything. But will this actually work? I want to welcome back to the program Edwina Elcox, a criminal defense attorney in Boise, Idaho. We appreciate you being with us, Edwina. We're happy to have you because you are actually in Idaho. You know the players. You know the way the local system works. You know the reputation and you know the judge. So you can really help us here. Do you think the trial is going to get delayed? I mean, you probably read this 40-page motion that just came out a little while ago.
I did read it, and I think, that's a hard question to answer, but I think if there is any reason that this trial gets delayed, and I do not think that Judge Hippler will make this decision lightly, but if there is any reason that this trial gets delayed, this is it.
This is what I don't understand, Edwina, and come to us from the criminal defense side of this. If they pick a jury that does not know the case very well, and they try to wean them out and figure out who are the people here that just know the basics and can be unbiased, and they seat that jury, why does it matter what was leaked? Why does it matter what was on Dateline?
Well, that's a preemptive question, right? That's assuming that they can get a jury that doesn't know this case, that didn't see the Dateline episode, didn't hear about the Dateline episode. And so I think what the defense is trying to do is say, look, we need some space and time at the very least to get beyond the Dateline episode, this James Patterson book that is apparently going to come out. And I think more importantly, and I think Judge Hippler's order absolutely comports with this theory, is to figure out who and what leaked this information, because it would be totally improper for law enforcement or an agent of the prosecution to do this in a criminal trial absent of a non-dissemination or a gag order. But the fact of the matter is this happened in flagrant violation of that court's order, flagrant violation.
And the way you say flagrant violation, when I was in court, it seemed to me like Judge Hippler was personally offended and very, very upset personally about this gag order being violated. I mean, what do you know about the judge? It seems like he really wants to go after who did this. Like, he seemed determined.
As he should be. Judge Hippler, practicing in front of him, he is a taskmaster. He is, as we expect judges to be, but extremely well-versed in the law. He expects both sides to comply with court orders, deadlines, to respect the decorum of the court. And the fact of the matter is, whoever did this, or if it's one person, multiple people, shame on them, because the fact of the matter is if this does result in the trial getting delayed, or ultimately what I think may be a legitimate defense request is whatever was leaked, that there is a request to the court that evidence be excluded. I mean, shame on whoever did this, because at the end of the day, who is suffering here? It's the families of those victims, right? Because they're left in limbo, potentially left in limbo again. And it's just simply not fair to them. And the court put this order originally, Judge, obviously we know that the case was transferred to Ada County and then subsequently assigned to Judge Hippler. But all of these were protective measures put in place to preserve the integrity of the prosecution and the criminal process in this matter to avoid exactly what happened here. And so absolutely, Judge Hippler and everybody else should be outraged about this as well. It's awful.
I'm with you when you say these poor families, because they have to take time off work and they have to emotionally prepare, and they have been counting down the days to this date and made arrangements in their own lives and made hotel reservations and Airbnbs, and for them to be messed with on that emotional level, I just think is terrible. But I just don't understand, again, like, you know, leaks happen. Most cases don't even have a gag order like this, big cases, and all this stuff gets out in the media anyway. Look at Diddy. Look at everything we knew about the Diddy investigation. They picked a jury just fine, Edwina. It just seems like, isn't the defense just looking for anything to slow this down?
Well, I think that the case law supports their position, and that 40-page brief lays out the case law, right? And I think that it is, you know, absolutely the defense wants a continuance in here. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But the reality is like their brief says, death is different. And you not only have to think about the trial, but also the appellate record and everything that comes after that. And protecting that record, and the prosecution absolutely has an interest in that. And so if these things aren't protected, you're going to deal with this at the appellate record. And do you want this to be sent back and the families have to deal with this all over again? No, absolutely not.
It'll be interesting to see what happens now. I'm sure prosecution will file a response, and then we'll hear what the judge has to say about it. Edwina Elcox, appreciate you very much for coming on with us tonight. It's always nice to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.